All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to be introducing our Google Maps team. So this is going to be our Google Maps track, and our first section is going to be with Tingting Li and Yingchen Wang. Ms. Lee is an experienced product manager at Google, where she currently leads the driver experience team for the Google Maps platform. And Mr. Wang is a skilled software engineer at Google, specializing in Google Maps mobility solutions. So please give a round of applause to our section.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Nice to meet you. My name is Tingting Li, and I'm the product manager on Google Maps platform navigation SDK team. Today, I'm here with my teammate Yingchen, who's a software engineer on my team. So, how many of you guys are developers? Raise your hand. Amazing. This is the session for you. How many of you guys are mobile developers? A little less, but still amazing. You're going to find some of our information very relevant to you. So 2 months ago, we announced a new product in Google Maps platform called Navigation SDK. And today, we're going to give an overview of the key features and capabilities of what is Navigation SDK. We'll share a live demo with you about how to integrate and what are some customizations you might be able to do with Navigation SDK. So Google Maps platform began with maps, routes, and places, and it has grown into a very long array of industry solutions, including mobility services and route optimization API. We understand that transportation and logistics companies are under pressure to perform nowadays to improve their efficiency and also to become more profitable over time to meet their customer expectations. Nowadays, they also have new sustainability goals that they need to meet. With sustainability, for example, in transportation logistics, a lot of companies are thinking about how to optimize their impact on the planet. And also, as the demand of their services increase, that's going to be increasingly difficult. So this is a decade where all industries need to participate and look for ways to step up and achieve this goal. So with these demands on your organization, like profitability and sustainability, no matter which industry you're in, right, whether that's on-demand ride-hailing, delivery services, logistics, or fuel services, it's critical that you as a developer are equipped with cutting-edge capability and flexibility to customize a navigation experience that fits your use case. So we would like to help you improve your in-app navigation experience and empower your users to stay in the same app without context switching to another application to help boost driver confidence and increase your in-app engagement. And this is where Google Maps come in, and that's why we launched Navigation SDK for Android and iOS 2 months ago. So simply put, Navigation SDK is what we provide Google navigation experience loved by billions of users directly in your mobile app. So it allows you to control full end-to-end experience for your users. You can personalize the look and feel of the navigation experience to increase your in-app engagement. So there are three key benefits of the Nav SDK. The first is that you can increase your user experience. The second is that you will optimize your fleet operational efficiency. And lastly, you can use the data that you get back in Navigation SDK to help you make informed decisions. I will show you what those data points are. So when we talk about elevating user experience, we're talking about you can have multiple route options. You can personalize the navigation UI, for example, customizing the color and style of the navigation header. You can emphasize key points during your journey by customizing the map markers. You can show drivers the traffic lights and stop sign on the route polyline to show them, what's ahead. And you can give them real-time alerts of road conditions, as well as showing a trip progress bar, which Yingchen will demo in a little bit. With Navigation SDK, you are building on top of Google Maps platform, which means that you're getting daily updates from 250 million businesses and places across 250 countries. So the result is a very familiar navigation experience for your users that can be customized for your brand. The second benefit we talked about is operational efficiency. So you can optimize your routes and improve your overall delivery times. So we can show your user accurate ETAs, road snap location updates from your drivers, as well as some routing configurations like choosing the shortest route versus the fastest route, or avoiding highways, avoiding tolls. There are a lot of routing customization you can do that's fit for your business. And Navigation SDK is the same experience across both Android and iOS platform, so you can provide a consistent experience regardless of the mobile platform. Okay, lastly, when using Nav SDK, you can use the data back to analyze trends, right? So for example, we provide callbacks for you as a developer, so you can listen in on your developers, for example, speeds, and get alerts when your drivers are over speeding. So you can do something in your UI to encourage safer driving. You can also adjust your operations based on what your driver is doing. If you know that they're doing a route deviation or a rerouting event is happening, you can share that information with your end consumer so everyone is on the same page. I'm going to now turn it over to my teammate Yingchen, who will share a live demo of Navigation SDK.
Thank you, Tingting, for the presentation. And for now, I'll be doing like a live demo to demonstrate Nav SDK. So as you can see here, this is iOS development environment, which is in Xcode. So let's say now I'm actually starting an ice cream delivery company in New York City. I'm trying to develop this app to deliver like ice creams, and in the driver delivery app, I'm going to integrate this driving experience. So I'm going to integrate Nav SDK to my app first. And what I'm going to do is on Xcode, on this one, I'm going to add the Navigation SDK binary. And this is actually pretty simple, just a few clicks away. So this is called Swift Package Manager, and our Navigation SDK has been already added to this. So you simply just search for Navigation SDK here, and then add package here, and boom. You have the Nav SDK on your app already. And before we actually try to add the map, add the navigation experience, we will be actually, asking for some permissions. And there are a couple of permissions that we have to ask from the users. One is the location permission, and the other one is actually notification permission. So I'm going to add some code in this load view method. So as the name already suggests, load view executes some logics when the view is being loaded. So I'm going to uncomment. I'm going to uncomment these lines. So it actually does two things. The first one is actually it'll ask for the location permission. The second one is actually asking for notification permission. And most importantly, I have to enable Nav SDK. I'm building the app. And now you're seeing like it's asking for location permission. I'm of course going to allow this. And it's asking for notification permission. Okay, nice. And now the step 2 will be adding the map to our app. So it's very simple. We're just simply gonna add this like map view variable to here, to this view controller. Yeah, I'm actually gonna zoom in a little bit. Okay, and after I added the map view, I'm going to enable this map view here. I'm going to create a camera object. So the camera actually shows you the angle that you're actually looking at the map. And then I'm going to put the camera object into this options and feed this options to this GMS map view class. And we're gonna run it again. Yeah, we're seeing the map. And can someone tell me where that is? It's actually, yeah, it's right here, where we're standing, Pier 57. And the next step will be actually integrate the navigation experience. But before that, we have to enable this like terms and conditions dialog. So terms and conditions dialog is very important because it's actually telling the drivers that please be aware of the surroundings when you're driving, and also always obey the law. Don't like speed and don't ignore the traffic lights. Also, some acknowledgement to the data collection for better trips in the future. All right, so I'm going to enable the terms and conditions dialog. And actually, I have a question. So my ice cream delivery company is called Ice Cream Company Number 1. Can someone give me like a better name? Can someone give me what? Like how to spell it? Mr. Softy. Mr. Softy? Nice. That's a very good name. And let's build it. Yeah, it's telling you that when you use Mr. Softy, blah, 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 if you can see here. So I'm going to, of course, acknowledge this. Yeah, so, well, if you look at the else here, so if you don't acknowledge this, you have to handle this like as a developer. So, but unfortunately, I feel like most likely most drivers will acknowledge this anyway. So, I mean, you only have to like acknowledge that once at the very beginning. And now when I'm loading for the second time, you won't be able to see this again. Yeah, but that's a very good question. And now I'm going to actually navigate to my first ice cream customer. So let's say I have a customer who's actually in the Empire State Building, very valuable customer, you know. So I'm actually going to create this navigator, and I'm going to add this navigator to map view. So first of all, I'm going to have my view controller inherit this GMS navigator class, which is also from the Google navigation binary, the SDK. Also, I'm going to add some listeners here. So basically from the names, you can see that you can get notifications when the driver actually changes routes, when the driver actually arrives at the destination. So that can give you a lot of data for analytical usages. And most importantly, I'm going to create this first navigation. And for simplicity, I'm going to hard code it to the Empire State Building here. And I'm going to add it as the destination. And I'm going to, of course, add the navigator to the map view. Sorry. And the last step will be creating a button. So we'll be creating a navigation button here. It's a tiny little cute blue button. Okay. I think it's time for us to enable our fabulous navigation experience. Are you ready for that? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, we have a start navigation here, and yeah, if we click on this,
Head south on 11th Avenue, Hudson River Greenway.
yeah, we're actually navigating to the Empire State Building.
14th Street.
Very nice, right?
Turn left onto West 14th Street, then slide left onto 10th.
But that's we can do actually much more than what I just showed you. For example, navigation SDK enables a lot of customization capabilities. So actually, Tingting, can you tell me what is your favorite color? purple. That's a very good color. And can someone tell me also like your favorite color? Sorry, what's your favorite color? Black. That's also a very good choice. So now we have a purple and black combination. Let's see if they create a very good aesthetic experience.
Head south on 11th.
Yeah, you see the headers are actually changing to purple and black.
Then turn left on.
Yeah, also we can customize in a lot of different ways. For example, we can add traffic lights, we can add compass buttons. So I'm gonna show it like very quickly to you. Also, we can also add speedometer. I think that will be very useful.
Head south on 11th Avenue.
So you now see the traffic lights here, and you see the speedometer here as well. You see the compass button here. So Google Maps Google Navigation SDK gives you a lot of room to customize, but actually more than that, Navigation SDK is providing you some capabilities that you don't have in your Google Maps. For example, sometimes when you're actually driving, sometimes you have to pinch the screen and you have to zoom out to see, like, for example, 2 miles away if there's a traffic jam or so. But like in our Navigation SDK, you can see this without having to zoom in out. So I'm gonna show you how. So I'm creating something called a trip progress bar.
Head south on.
And you see from here, you can see a trip progress bar. With different colors, you can see like at certain portions of the route, you can see the traffic are at different levels. So that's only one of the several or many examples that Google Google Navigation SDK can provide you, can empower you. So basically, Google Navigation SDK can give you a lot of customization room, and it can also gives you a lot of callbacks. For example, you will know when a lot of navigation events actually happen. For example, if the driver is arriving at that place, if the driver actually changes route, or a lot of things. So you can do your analytical things like better. And also, I think we're also currently working on some really interesting features, and there'll be a shift like in the future. And well, thanks for what?
You were on the.
I mean, after this show, you can bribe me for like $20 or so. But yeah, yeah. Thank you guys so much for helping me building this ice cream delivery app, and I'll hand it back to Tingting.
Okay, we will have a few more slides on use cases and customer examples. Then we can go to questions. Okay, so we have seen success among our developers in many use cases. For example, on-demand deliveries, logistics, and travel. So let me dive into a few of these. So for example, here we have seen our customers in companion apps where e-bike and scooter companies, they are building a premium companion app experience. And the challenge these companies are facing today is that a lot of their app users are leaving their app for a different navigation experience. And when they go to that, they might never come back to their app. So with Nav SDK, you can build an in-app navigation experience that customize the UI according to your needs, that they don't need to, leave your app for another experience, which can sometimes be not safe during the ride. We're also seeing some good use cases in travel. So Nav SDKs can help a traveler explore a new city by helping them to find, let's say, interesting places of interest. They can find parking. As a developer, you can alert them, hey, maybe you should leave for the airport, so that we can have a very integrated and seamless experience for this use case. We're also seeing success in enterprise workforce. So we're seeing operators using the ETAs that's given back from Nav SDK to track where their fleet is, so they know at all times where their vehicles are, so they can optimize their dispatch. And then lastly, we're also seeing car hire companies or car rental companies where Nav SDK can seamlessly connect the riders and the drivers to navigate to pick up or drop off points. And then you can also show partner destinations throughout the trip for, let's say, gas stations or hotels without your users leaving your app. So I do want to highlight our launch partner. This is a company called Cowboy, and this company is based in Belgium. They build beautiful e-bikes, and they have discovered that more than half of their customers who buy their bikes are actually buying them to replace their cars. And this is a very design-led e-bike and with pretty sophisticated battery technology, and they received many awards in 2024, like GQ Bike of the Year. So how do they integrate with Nav SDK? Previously, they used a different in-app nav tool provider, but they often receive feedback that the cycling routes is suboptimal compared to Google Maps. So with the goal of retaining their users in the app instead of switching out to another app while riding, Cowboy decided to integrate with Nav SDK and directly into their rider app. So as you can see here, they have done a lot of customization using Nav SDK. We build with them collaboratively in a pretty closely and tailor the experience that fits into their app design. As you can see that as the rider enter the destination, they are presented with optimal routes with estimated distance and ETA. Cowboy also pulled air quality data from Google Maps Platform Air Quality API to build a experience that show number of traffic lights on the map and score for air quality, so their riders can choose a route that's the cleanest route for them. They also take their rider safety very seriously. As you can see here, their riders can set up emergency contacts. So when the e-bike has sensed that they got into an accident, they can alert these family and friends very quickly. They also take a very proactive approach to accident-prone area, where they integrated global accident hotspot data into Nav SDK, and they can alert their cyclists when they're approaching a junction that's very dangerous. And they also collect the accident data that happened on the bike and send that back to the city admin to improve the streets. So since migrating to Nav SDK, they have measured 66% increase in the number of riders using their in-app nav. They have also seen 30% reduction in support cases. So I hope that you're inspired by seeing the Cowboy Nav SDK use case. You can find out more in a recent blog post we have on the Google Maps platform blog. So how can you get started? If there's one resource I would recommend you to check is our developer documentation. It is very comprehensive. It covers all the capabilities and use cases. You can check out our sample apps that's hosted on GitHub and CocoaPods. And lastly, if you want to do what Yingchen has shown you, we do have a step-by-step tutorial guide on our Colab, And all these resources are all linked in our developer docs. And that is it. Thank you for coming to the session. We can take some questions if you have any.
So going back to the Mr. Softy, the ice cream truck example. So for the ice cream driver's perspective, their biggest concern would be like, okay, where would I find a bunch of people that would actually want to buy my ice cream? So is there a way to program it to find like high density foot traffic for the driver to find people, whether it's just general clusters of people, or maybe there's some street event, like for example, summer streets or some street festival or something of the sort? Because this is really cool, but from that, for that particular use case, like what would drive adoption is, hey, if you help me find foot traffic to drive my, empty out my reserves, like then I would be excited.
Yeah, good question. So there are many capabilities on Google Maps platform as a developer you can leverage. For example, you can use Places API to, visually display POIs that's relevant to your use case, right? In this case, maybe you will show POIs like, restaurants or, outdoor venues, right? And you can be creative with the places that you are showing, and then basically tailor make an experience that fits your use case.
Yeah, so Google Maps platform actually provides a bunch of different APIs and SDKs. So very common use cases, like when developers are using them, they're actually combining them together using different APIs in the SDKs. And I believe that your use case might be addressed by mix and match.
And then for visualization, you can decide between like a map pin or maybe like a zone decoration, to highlight, popular spots, right? We've seen our developers do that to guide their drivers or users to popular locations. That's a very popular use case in ride hailing or food delivery as well. Places insights, Mike, if you
Can you hear me? Yeah, cool. I was going to add to that too, to try to build a better picture of where people might be. The Places Insights API that's just launched. Oh, your question, sorry, I'm looking at you, but it's you. That will help you get extract insights of what density of places are. So you could kind of get a better idea of maybe where there's a density of commercial buildings or certain types of places. But some of that foot traffic or actual people is a little hard to extract, but maybe building a better picture from Places Insights API, which is it builds on top of the Places API, might work too. So just add.
Thank you, Mike. We have some questions over there.
Options and the pricing.
Yeah, when you mean deployment, do you mean deploying? Yes.
And pricing related to that.
Okay, yeah. So for pricing for Nav SDK, just like most products on Google Maps platform, will bill by consumption. So pay as you go. The more you use, the more we charge. And the billing unit we use is per destination. So when you set a destination, we charge you. And obviously, you will deploy your app through App Store or Play Store. Yeah. Yes, we have a question over there.
Ecosystem for navigation API.
For Flutter support, if you want to
Yeah,
answer.
yeah. I think currently, like, you should be able to plug in Nav SDK into the Flutter apps. I might be like 100% sure. I can check offline with you.
We have one more question over there.
So I saw earlier with the example that we had traffic lights, and do we get the traffic lights like red, green, and stuff like on time, like right now, or is it a different? Can we get the live version of the lights? That's actually when the driver is driving.
You mean the status of the
Oh
traffic
yes,
light?
yes. Sorry,
No,
that's the
that
right
is a
word.
capability we don't have.
No,
Okay.
and I don't
Today.
think that's the data that will get exposed to us, right? If
I mean, it's something we could do in the future.
Yeah.
I feel successful implementation of that in other navigation
Okay.
apps in
Okay.
other countries,
Okay.
but something that we'll envision to do for sure.
All right. Thank you.
We have a question right there.
So one of the cool feature I like about Google Maps is we can use it offline. So is there any way you can use Nav SDK to make the apps use offline?
Yeah, great question. So it really depends on what you mean by offline. So Nav SDK does support sporadic offline, right? So when you have already set, a destination and a route has already retrieved for you, but let's say during the navigation journey you went through, mountains or some place with poor signal, we do cache the tiles along your route, and you will have support during the trip. But we do not support full offline, meaning when you're requesting a route or when you're for long periods of time, we don't support that, like the consumer Google Maps app yet.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
And sorry, like to answer your question, I just checked online and I can confirm that Google Navigation SDK for Flutter and React Native already live. Yeah.
Yes.
I know we talked about like getting like some of the features that you guys offer in your SDK about like the air quality and also like the shortest path or the most efficient path towards the destination. I was wondering what are some of the variables that you guys are looking to implement in the future, or what are some of the things that you guys want to definitely tackle when it comes to sustainability and environmental issues
Yeah.
that will be implemented in this SDK?
Yeah, good question. I think one feature that's very relevant is eco-routing in Nav SDK. I mean, currently it's not natively supported, but you can do that with Routes API. So there's one feature we didn't really cover in this session. It's called Routes API integration with Nav SDK. So you can create a route in Routes API, which has way more route customization capabilities, including eco-routing, and then pass the route token to Nav SDK for execution. So that is one feature I would say that's more, contributing to the sustainability goal. But in the longer run, I think we still have a lot of work to do. And in Google Maps platform, we also have a sustainability arm and a portfolio of sustainable features that we will work towards, seamless integration with Nav SDK to make sure.
Sorry to interrupt, Tingting. I'll be covering that at 2:00 in this room.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, one more question in the end.
So my question is, does Nav SDK has the capability to deal with all the live data like traffic and car crash happening? So does it have the capability to automatically give you different routes, and then if it's a fastest route or like the shortest route, how does it deal with that scenario?
Yeah, so I can answer this question. So in Nav SDK, there's actually an options class or variable, and you can actually customize the navigation option. You can choose it to be the shortest path or the one that takes the shortest time.
So, like if I don't select any option, what are the factors that it considers choosing the efficient route?
Yeah, the default route, if you don't specify a routing objective, the default route will be very similar to the one you will see in consumer maps. And it does respect the live traffic information, right? Let's say you are driving on this route and something actually happened down the road that there's road closure, right? Then the rerouting will happen for you automatically to get around that. And it does reflect the current traffic speed, and along the route you can have, dynamically updated, alternate routes for the driver to choose.
Just a follow up to this. So you said you can you have predetermined routing values and all. Can we give like our own sort of routing sort of functions or functionality or like a logic?
Yeah,
and maybe
great
integrated
question.
with like our own personal data. Maybe I have my own
Yeah.
personal data which I want to.
So it
customize.
depends, okay? So with routing customization, like I said earlier, there's more you can do in Routes API, right, for configuration. Like if you have complex routing needs, I would recommend you to go there first, then customize the routes, bring the route token back to Nav SDK. But if you want to bring your own routes, we currently don't support that. So you're like, this is a arbitrarily determined route and I want to execute via Nav SDK. We currently don't support that today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.